Professor Ibrahim is doctorate in physical education from Osmania University. He also done a diploma in sports coaching in football. He's a former principal, head director in Department of Physical Education, Osmania. He has published a lot of paper in international journals and participated in many international conferences held at London, China, Russia, Istanbul. He is also a life president of Indian Federation of Computer Science in Sports. I welcome you, sir. He is going to speak on Ecosphere for underweight athletes. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, madam. I think Vandanagag. The authorities of the Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies were the host for the Pre-Olympic International E-Dialogue Series. And I'm really grateful to the Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Khannaji, who has been an active researcher and a physical educationist. And at the outset, I would like to share the area of underweight, which is the most neglected in research. Why? Because, as a matter of fact, me and my colleagues here in Saudi Arabia have dealt with a few studies on the underweight subject. And when we wanted to see the literature, we could not find much studies for the underweight. That is the reason why I think I have chosen this at the topic for presentation here. And as you know, everybody knows it, that our body has got weight, and we call it as a mass of the body also, measured in the units of kilogram, pounds, and ton. And the National Institute of Health has reported with regard to the weight management that around 33% of adults around the globe are obese. 35% population are overweight and 12% are underweight. And that leaves only a 20% of the strata around the globe who are normal weight. That means you can consider them as healthy citizens. Now, the basic concept of weight management, this I'm just trying to give you certain introduction with regard to this. So the concept of weight management depends on the body composition. As you know, it's one of the concepts of the health-related fitness. And this body composition basically consists of two things, fat-free mass and body fat. And what do you call fat-free mass? The bone, water, muscle, connective tissue, the teeth, and the tissues which are basically connected. They are coming under the fat-free mass. That means they don't have any fat. And what is body fat? The essential fat which is required by the body to carry on different functions. It is 3 to 5% of total fat in men, 8 to 12% in women. And where the fat is stored, because totally the health of an individual depends on the muscle and the fat, the lean body mass and the adipose tissue. So fat is stored as adipose tissue, where in the connective tissue in which fat is stored. Subcutaneous tissue below the skin, under the skin. Visceral fat is intra-abdominal, which is located around major organs in the body. And the factors which are affecting the body composition, they are genetically determined when we have the number of fat cells in our body. When the chromosomes are passed down from the parents to the offspring. And these cells can increase or decrease in size depending on various factors like age, sex, metabolism, diet, activity level. So these are a few areas, aspects which affect the size of the cells. Now, We call it as energy balance. Energy balance means is the key to keep your healthy ratio of the fat-free mass and the fat. You take in energy. That is, we eat food, they are the calories converted to calories. And you use up the calories as energy. So energy in and energy out, you maintain your current weight. If you're taking too much of food, naturally you will gain weight. If you're taking very less food, you will not get, or you will not gain weight, but still your organs will become weak because your body weight or your body requires the energy, sufficient energy according to the body's surface area. So it is very essential. So energy in, energy out. If it's energy in, if it is more than the energy out, you gain weight. But if energy in is less than the energy out, you lose weight. So this is energy balance. Now we come to the body composition. There are three interrelated aspects the human with regard to the human physique. What is it? Size, volume, mass, surface area. Then structure, skeletal, muscular, fat arrangement and distribution. And composition, amount of fat, muscle, and bone. So body composition is one of the major components of physical fitness. You know, physical fitness divided into the health-related and the skill-related components. Now, body composition. The most common, basically, method used in body composition analysis is a two-component model of the body. What is that? This model includes lean body mass, the muscle, lean body, LBM, what we call it, and the fat mass. The fat body mass, which is there in the body, and the total body fat, we call it TBF. Now, lean body mass refers to the non-fat or fat-free component of the body. What it includes? It includes skeletal muscles, bone, water. It may represent a biological lower limit beyond which health is compromised. So you can see here the formula for knowing or calculating the lean body mass. LBM is calculated by total body mass minus the total body fat. And then the total body fat is calculated by dividing the total body mass into percent body fat divided by 100. Then, where is fat stored? Fat body mass is divided into two areas, storage fat and essential fat. So you can see here a few aspects which have been represented here. The storage fat that accumulates as adipose tissue below your skin, and it serves as an energy reserve, and also it cushions and protects external organs. You know, basically, if you look at the nutrients, you'll find that the macronutrients, the carbohydrates, protein, and the fat, these are the main components of the energy, which are called as macronutrients, which give energy. Like carbohydrates gives fuel, protein is a building material, then fat. What does the fat do? You know, when you construct a building in your house, you don't leave the walls like that. You paint the walls, otherwise it looks ugly. So the fat does the painting of all the organs. It is like cushioning and protecting the organs, external organs. And it is mainly subcutaneous distribution. And in a male, the average fat is 12%. In a female, it is more than 15 to 20%. And excess fat is associated with numerous health problems. So this is with regard to the stored fat, or storage fat, what we call it. Then essential fat. It is required for numerous physiological functions. The body carries on various functions. Physiological means the working of the body. So this fat, which is the essential fat, is present in bone marrow, heart, lungs, liver, spleen, kidneys, intestine, muscles, and the central nervous system, CNS. So this is the essential fat, which is very, very important for carrying on the daily activities of life. It comprises about 3% of the body weight in males and around 12 in the women. So gender specific essential fat is located, like the male and the female, in the mammary glands, pelvic region, and is involved in hormone related functions and pregnancy. So this is with regard to the what you can call it as the essential fat connected with the females. Now, measurement of fat, how you measure it? Basically, there are two methods of measuring the fat: the direct measurement and indirect measurement. So direct measurement involves grinding tissue. The tissues are grinded, and it is measured via chemical analysis. And of course, this chemical analysis is impractical for the living organisms. So it is not a conducive one for a living organism. But indirect methods are mostly used to measure the fat. So what are they? One is the skin fold caliper. We have different parts of the body, and there are 5 areas in which you use a skin fold caliper. Know the circumference of those parts and then calculate the fat percentage. Then we have hydrostatic weighing in water. Then bot pad, a new innovative equipment which measures your, what you can call it, the body fat. And then bioelectrical impedance, where electricity is passed on in the body and it gives you the correct body fat percentage. And then DEXA is also using X-rays to know the body fat. Now you can see here various modalities to which the fat is measured. Here you can see the skill fold calibers. Here it is the hydrostatic weighing. This is the bot pad, which is an equipment with very expensive, basically cannot be used by ordinary person. Then we have what we call it the bioelectrical impedance. This is based on difference in electrical conductivity between fat-free mass and fat mass. Person body weight is calculated from measures of body density determined by passing an electrical current through the body. And then in this aspect, I have an important, what you call it, the modality, which we have also been using. We call it the Tanita DC 430. That I will tell you in the next slide. But we also have dual energy and X-ray absorption, that is DEXA, where the body composition is determined by bone density. After a few minutes, the machine will automatically calculate your weight, your BMI, the body mass index, the basic metabolic rate, the person body fat, fat-free mass, FFM, and fat mass, and then fat-free mass also, apart from the total body water. So it will give you an indication very clearly and give you a printout which you can utilize in your research to know how much you have, the person body fat, the fat mass, and the fat-free mass. Now, the basic thing which we want to know, or if we want to know the body fat, is very simple method of calculating the body mass index, which is very inexpensive and it can be utilized by anybody. And this considers your weight and height. Everybody knows it. I think I need not to divulge much on that, where your height in kgs is divided by height in meters square. And the resultant, there are 4 categories we have, what we call it as above 30, 30 plus if you get your answer, then it is obese. Then 25 to 29.9 overweight, 18.5 to 25 or 24.9 is normal weight, 18.5 and below is underweight. So BMI is only intended, you need to remember this, for men and women aged between 20 and 65. But there are certain contraindications. It cannot be used for babies, for children, for teenagers, pregnant women, and very muscular people such as athletes. because athletes don't have the body fat percentage. It will give you a wrong, what you can call it, a measure for an athlete, because he doesn't have any body fat. Now, actually coming to the basic aspect of the presentation, being underweight is a problem. Your body mass index falling down between 18.5 and below. It needs to be stopped. Now, what is weight and underweight? Weight of an individual basically depends on various factors. What are these factors? I've already discussed about it: genetic, metabolic rate, body type of bone and muscular content. Some people have very heavy bones, hormonal imbalance, nature of food, what you take, timings of the food. Basically said that we need to take breakfast, lunch and dinner. Growth. As you lack everything in the body, there will be a very slow and the growth will be retarded. Now, how does being underweight affect your health? With regard to the fitness, if you're an anorexic means you don't have appetite to eat. You don't feel like eating. You usually are less fit. Then there is no body fat in your body. There are weak bones, and the heart is very, very, worst, and also the cholesterol levels are very low. This is with regard to the fitness. Then to the muscle, there is no fat in your body, and you cannot turn it, because there are two things in the body: fat and the muscle. If you are active, your fat is converted to muscle. If you're inactive, the muscle is converted to fat. So when these are lacking, then you will definitely have problem with the muscle. While you're anorexic, you will not be able to gain any muscle. And what is the physical features of that? We have already discussed about it. Little to no body fat in the body, dry and flaky skin. Hair, we talked about it. You will be losing hair, dullness, thinning, and loss of shine, weakness, fainting, and dizziness, low heart rate, low blood pressure, and low body temperature, depression, the psychological aspect, where you are very, very confined to yourself. You don't want to share anything. Socially, you will be out, discarded. Then organ malfunctioning. The organs which are present, they need to be supplied with the energy required for their function. But if you're not giving these organs the essential energy required, then you start getting malfunctioning, weakening, and failure. And then malnutrition, starvation, which can be very fatal. Now, what are the ways to overcome this? So we have a few things over here where we say adding snacks. To treat this, we take high protein and whole grain carbohydrate snacks, which can help a person gain weight. Of course, there are many examples, you know it pretty well, what nutrition you need to take about it. Then eating several meals a day. You need to eat 3 meals, but every 3 hours you can take small meals. And then incorporating additional food. In a person who's underweight need to have more calories added. Suppose how to calculate that you require that much of energy per day. You multiply your body weight with 24. What is 24? 24 hours are there in a day. So in your body weight, this is a rough calculation. I'm just talking about other formulas are there, but to a person who is not that much the general way to calculate your calories. If I'm 100 kgs, I multiply with 24, I get 2,400 calories. It's requirement of my body per day. Now, if I am underweight, I need to add 500 calories. If I'm overweight, you subtract 500 calories from that. So you need to incorporate additional foods and avoiding empty calories. Foods that cause a person where if you're underweight, you take the foods which are high in calories. If you're overweight, cut down. Now, Why I took this topic basically to present over here is me and my colleagues, we have done a lot of research on the underweight, around 5 to 4 projects we had. This is one of the projects which we have published it, where we have utilized the hormones and fitness elements, where we have utilized the plyometric exercises and the football training on the underweight students. And this is one study, and another study was effect of increased daily food intake. Apart from aspect of body composition, body dimension, strength, metabolic variables. The second study, and the third study, effect of protein supplementation. Apart from the less hypercaloric intake and exercise and hypertrophy hormones and energy components among underweight males. This is another study we did. And then we had another study, anorexic impact of complement protein along with additional food consumption and exercise on ectomorphism and energy variables among males. This is underweight. So all these studies we tried to do with training. We did not find any change in the underweight. We added additional food intake with exercise, that is resistance training. We could increase only the muscle power, but the gain of muscle was not there. Then we thought to put another aspect like adding protein supplementation, food intake, high food intake plus exercise. And even then, very, very less percentage of mean body weight we could increase, body mass. The other things increase, of course, but body mass, not much difference. So what it comes to the conclusion, because what we found in the underweight that they don't have appetite to eat because they have small stomach. They cannot. We said take more food. Say we cannot. Why? Because our stomach is so small that we don't have appetite to eat. We try to control, but even protein supplementation we gave them, but it doesn't. I mean, it increased little, but that was not significant enough. So this problem of underweight requires more research, and we need to concentrate more on this. Now, what are the diet for the underweight? Basically, I have prepared a chart which is, can be taken by the underweight, what you need to do, how much fat you should take, how much calcium, and how much sodium, carbohydrate, and protein and iron. These are the contents of food and the timings of food, what you need to take, and the total calories which we need to take for an underweight will be between 2,000 to 2,200. It is not specific. It cannot be generalized. I said the caloric intake of a person cannot be generalized. It all depends on the body of a person. You need to calculate on your body weight. This is only a recommendation, but it is not generalized, not specific. Then I have corroborated it with the Olympics, because this platform is basically for the pre-Olympic. So I thought, why not I corroborate the underweight with the Olympics. The calculation of the BMI on the 10 Olympic events in the 2012 Summer Olympics, you can find here the marathon, diving, volleyball, basketball, sprint, that is athletics, rowing, shooting, judo, then weightlifting and shooting. It's not shooting, it is the shot put. It is one of the field events. So you can find here the BMIs. The marathon runners, 18.6, the BMI. 18.5 and below is underweight, just above the underweight. Then all others you can find it is normal weight, all of them normal weight, except in the shot put where you require more strength. Also in weightlifting, you can find it is 28.4 and 35.7. So these are the two events which require more muscle mass. So you can consider them as obese, but they are not actually obese because they are athletes. They don't have that much of fat in them. But you can see here in this that the marathon runners, because they cover around 400, 500, 600 miles per week. So naturally, they have the BMI going down 18.6, just above the normal range of the underweight. It's a
Sorry
very
to
interesting
interrupt you.
one. Yes, so 1 minute. I'll
Sorry.
take 2 minutes only. 2 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Only 2 minutes. Last two slides I have, please, madam. Now,
All
the
right.
BMI for Olympic runners, marathon runners, you can see from 1896 to 2000. You can see the graph. Starting from 21, ranging down, and then you can find in 56 and 68 below the underweight, below 18.5. Then going up, then coming down to 18 in 1992. And of course, it has gone up 2004, and 2060 is just 19. So very interesting one. And then here, the Special Olympics. You have 4 categories in the Special Olympics, and the age groups are there. You can find the underweight percentage in category of 19 years, 13.5, 29 years, 7.5, 30 years, 2.9, 40, 2.7, 59, 1.4, and 60 plus 4.9. So that means to say, of course, in the Special Olympics, it's more than the less than in the underweight. Okay, gentlemen, so this is all I have. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I think in time, I suppose, maybe I have taken 2 minutes more. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with all of you. And I hope and thank the authorities and also the host and also Vandana Garg for your